We're not quite live.
He bowed to me in front of my sculpture.
Oh, excellent.
Well, we are live. Well, we're behind the scenes now getting ready for a timeline. We're not going to go through all the testing. We're trying some things. You'll see we're backlit here, and I don't look great. But Steve Bender, our guest today, looks perfect, and that's what's the most important thing. So we're going to go right into we already set, everything looks good. We're going to go right into the podcast. So then we're checking time. So Steve, we just did a little quick practice. All our things are in order. We're live on Google Plus Hangouts. That means we're recording, and it's going to go to YouTube as well as some other places. But really the main thing is to develop the iTunes, the podcast, the Stitcher Radio, the iHeartRadio. So that's what we're working on now. We're in the timelines. It's really a pleasure to be in the Newport Mesa Unified District. I would rather be at Newport Beach at your place on the water when I just found out instead of here in my mom's little cabana here, which is a beautiful place. I mean, it's actually gorgeous.
Might be a little cooler down there, too.
Yeah, well, the windows are open. We're on the bluffs here, so we get beautiful wind. And you can see the ocean from right here. You can see it from upstairs and right on our back door. So it's a couple miles away from the bluffs. But I love Newport Beach. It's a nice area. So, Steve, let's go right into Timelines of Success. Steve, welcome to Timelines of Success.
Thanks, Bill, for having me.
It's great to have you here, and it's fun to be down in Newport Beach. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, because you're very unique. You're truly a serial entrepreneur who's evolved.
Well, professionally, I'm a CEO of Newport Homes, which is a residential real estate company here in Newport Beach. But my passion is philanthropy. And recently, we started an organization called Bacchus Doc in the Box. And that's how we utilize high school students to help us design and build mobile medical, dental, vision clinics. And our first box we designed for Kandla, South Africa. And if you don't know this, Kandla has the highest concentration of AIDS anywhere in the world. And so we took a 20-foot shipping container and designed actually a mobile medical center that shipped down there several years ago. Then our second box, we utilized a 20-foot car hauling trailer, and we built a mobile dental clinic, which actually we can pull up to a senior center, youth facility, anything. And in about an hour, we can set up a 16 dental chair facility. And this year, we'll do about $1 million of free dental care in Southern California, Mexico, and abroad. We do 12 clinics locally, and then we do usually 2 right across the border in Mexico, and then once a year we bonus or incentivize our students. The ones that attend 9 dental clinics get to go to our international clinic. And so 2 years ago it was Guatemala, last year it was Peru, this year we'll be going to Cartagena, Colombia.
Oh, Colombia. Wow. So who actually are the doctors?
Well, we get volunteer doctors from all over. A lot of them are USC graduates, but the worker bees are 3rd and 4th year dental students from USC.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely the land of USC, that's for sure.
Yes.
I grew up in this part of Costa Mesa, Newport Mesa Unified School District, and it seems like a lot of our instructors, teachers, principals were all USC graduates.
Yes, yes.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself and your journey to get where you are today. To live in Newport Beach, to work in nonprofits, must be really rewarding.
It's I always say philanthropy is my golf. I spend pretty much every Saturday working on a project. We'll either be giving people free glasses through our Steve's Vision program, or free dental through our Doc in the Box dental program.
So how does someone who was raised in the Midwest, which is Kansas, correct?
That's correct.
End up in Newport Beach, which is pretty dynamic in differences in culture. A lot of commonalities, but a lot of differences. How do you make that journey?
It's funny. Again, I grew up in the city in Kansas, but we also had a farm, and so big work ethic. But when I was about 23, I left home at 18 and went to Aspen and was in ski patrol for a couple years.
Really, you're ski patrol?
Yeah.
We have something in common. I was also on ski patrol.
Oh yeah, and then
were you a volunteer?
Yes, okay. Volunteer, and I did that for a couple years, and then moved to the Virgin Islands.
From the ski slopes of Aspen to the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, so
that's pretty dynamic.
Ended up starting in a sales job down there, and then ended up taking over pretty much the entire company, selling duty-free products to cruise ships in the Virgin Islands and Vancouver. I actually lived in the Virgin Islands in the winter and Vancouver, British Columbia in the summertime.
That's a good combination.
A very good combination.
How did you end up in Vancouver in the summertime?
Well, it was basically my job. The cruise ships moved to the Alaska run. And so I would manage the company in the winter and then take a month off, go to Europe and tour the wineries, et cetera, and then go to Vancouver and load cruise ships in the summertime.
That makes so much sense. There's a lesson to be learned there, especially when you're young. If you can adapt and be adaptable to different environments and places, you can do well. And you were able to save up money to go to the next level in your business?
Yeah, and I think it's good to know, when you have a certain point in your life before you start a family, you can live anywhere you want and do anything you want. And it's just you've got to decide what you want to do and then make that happen.
Right. That's a good point. And once you have a family, you can still do some of those things. You just can't do them the same.
It's hard to change locations once you have a family, but once you create your dream, your list of what you want to do.
So driving down through your timeline, we didn't really get to talk, but you have a family, I take it.
No, I have actually. I'm single.
You're still single?
Yes, I've been with the same girl for 5 years.
Okay.
And
is she Californian?
She was born in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, and she was a model in Hawaii and in LA, and now she lives out here. And she's kind of an entrepreneur herself. She started her own manufacturing company.
Really? Now this is definitely the place. Between
Yes.
LA and San Diego, there's so much connectivity in manufacturing.
Yes.
People don't realize, but where Silicon Valley is known for high tech in the valley, San Diego now is known for new media.
Right.
But between LA and Orange County really was manufacturing and import-export manufacturing in the days.
Right.
And it still is. There's so much connectivity here. San Francisco a little bit. But go on. So driving on, when did you start your businesses you have now? How did you got into real estate here?
Yeah, Newport. Well, I've always been fond of real estate, so I actually had a license in Kansas, and then when I moved out here, that's when the real estate boom was really going on. So I actually had the Newport Homes and a mortgage company called Sea to Sky Mortgage, and so within about 2008, I decided that the real estate market was going to tank.
Right.
And said, I'm going to spend the next 2 years, and I'm going to just volunteer. And that's when we started Doc in the Box. And I said, I'm going to take off between 2008 and 2010. I'll get back into the real world. And this has become so addictive and such a big thing. I'm still doing it.
And now we'll talk more about your Doc in the Box and some of the things that you're doing. You're working with connexes and shipping containers, and you're building out processes that are mobile.
Right. Well, the thing is, we're also teaching students philanthropy and building skills at the same time, which is very important. I mean, the kids are a future of this country, and I think we kind of missed teaching them ethics and philanthropy over the past few years. And I think you're seeing that coming back around. A lot of the young people I'm working with, they're really into community service and volunteering. Very good.
So where do you manufacture and put together your connexes, your systems?
Well, what we do is, the Western High School built our first dental unit. Then they built the AIDS unit, then the dental unit. Now other high schools. The whole point is to get other schools to take on this challenge
as a project.
Yep. So
Our goal is called Bacchus 2025, and that's to have 100 of these boxes around the United States doing $1 million worth of free dental, vision, and medical service. So that would be $100 million worth of free services per year. And I said, once I do that, I'm done.
Oh, good. So you've made your your goal. You set
that's
goals.
my goal. Once I hit 100 million of free services a year, I'm going to take up surfing.
So surfing sounds good right now. Do you surf now?
No, I don't. I said once I get 100 million, I'm going to take up surfing.
That's for later on. We talk about what you like to do when you're not working in your nonprofits.
Yes.
So $100 million, you say Western
High School made the first three.
Where are they located?
That's in Anaheim, California.
Okay.
And then this year, Rotary just gave us a grant to build the fourth one.
Are they a public or private school? Western?
It's a public.
Public school. So that's one of their trade elements.
Yeah, it's called a BITA, Building Industry and Technology Academy. A lot of students don't plan on going to a four-year college. They want to have a trade. They want to be a plumber or a contractor. So they take these courses to better prepare them for their trade.
And there's a lot of money in that business.
Yes.
We talk often. Our main element, we're folks at baby boomers, but baby boomers are 50 and older, but some younger people listen. And a good friend of mine does a program oriented towards younger people. And they talk often about how you start your business as the young entrepreneur. And probably one of the best ways to do a business today is not the high tech necessarily, but is to learn the trades and start your own business.
It's amazing how much money is in that. And some of the people, their jobs are a lot more secure than people.
Right, and it's a
in high
trade,
tech,
and
yes.
you can start a business slowly, and you actually have more probability of success than some of the computer technicians
Right.
in some aspects.
That's correct.
It's hard to explain, but there's a balance there. But you still need to be savvy. The young
Right.
person who starts out needs to understand accounting, bookkeeping, computers,
Sure.
design, and there's a lot to the tech. To be in the trades and run a business is a 5-year degree in itself.
Yes. Yes.
So it's very good. So you build these connexes, you ship them out, and would you ship them out of the country too?
Well, actually, the first one we shipped out of the country, but that's kind of we've found that's hard to watch once it leaves.
Right.
So now we're doing more where we help our community
Right. I
with
love
these
that.
things, but then we still take this equipment out of the country. We'll drive these trailers to Mexico twice a year, or take our equipment on planes to do these same tasks.
Right, and the Connex, of course, can be mobile and set up
Sure.
anywhere, and it works. And people are actually building residential units in some
Yes.
urban areas now with
Yes.
Connexes. Midwest is some of the places where they allow those to be built, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Well, Europe and Japan.
Europe
and,
and
when you
Japan.
think about it, it's a 14-gauge steel structure, waterproof,
You put them together. in different
earthquake-proof, fire-proof. There's pretty good building base.
Yeah, they're all over the Middle East too.
Yes,
and a lot
yes.
of the military bases
Right.
used systems. So, what are some of the challenges you have with your organization?
Well, in the beginning, it was just no one had done it before, so I'm learning as we go along. But my whole goal was to share all our information, our blueprints, what worked, what didn't work, and now it's kind of fun to watch as other people take on the projects and do exactly what we're doing in other places.
Right, you share the information.
Yeah,
You
we
want
totally
them-
share everything. I'll tell you everything. Anybody who wants it, and I get phone calls all the time from high school teachers all over the country that say, "Hey, we heard about this. We saw this this information, and how can we do this?" And so we're trying to partner up with more Rotary clubs because it's a great partner.
Now, I know you're electing your Rotaries.
Yeah, I'm president-elect of Newport Beach Sunrise Rotary.
How many people are in that Rotary?
43.
43. Is it an older Rotary?
It is an older Rotary. I'm one of the younger people.
But no, not older in age. That's true.
Yeah.
But how long has it been around for a long time?
It's been around over 20 years.
It's a
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
How many Rotaries are in Newport Beach?
3. We have a breakfast, a
That's not-
lunch, and a dinner.
That's not many
Mhm.
in Newport. I'm surprised there are not more. Tell us a little bit about, for those who don't know about Rotary. Explain what Rotary
Rotary
is.
is a service club. It's basically for community and civic leaders to actually do projects in the community. But we also do international projects. We pretty much took on eradicating polio many years ago, and we've pretty much done it. So that's what we're really well known for. There are polio programs. We also do water projects all around the world. This summer I visited one in Peru where we took a village in Wakaria, and it's like the cleanest drinking water in Peru. We've also treated them for free dental and gave them glasses.
So the people in the Rotary are mostly baby boomers, it sounds like, a little older.
Yeah.
You have a few young members?
Well, we have different levels because I'm actually in charge of their Interact, which is a Rotary version in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Then I founded the Rotaract, which is 18 to 30, and that's basically, our Rotaract Club is basically made up of medical students that work on our projects with us. And then a new project we're just starting right now is called Satellite Rotary, which you don't have to go to the meetings. You can just do community service projects and meet off-site on projects, and that's something I'm very excited about because a lot of my friends can't go to a meeting every Tuesday morning at 7:30, but they can volunteer for beach cleanup on a Saturday,
Right.
or volunteer to size people for glasses, on a Tuesday night.
Right. If they're young doctors or workers, they're just running their business because it takes full effort just to keep that business going.
Yes.
There's a point where you got to be careful as a volunteer that you don't destroy your own foundation, because to be a volunteer you still have to take care of your own foundation.
Right. You have to be sustainable, and it's one of the hardest things is to, what do you do for yourself? Because if you fail, the charity fails.
Right.
So you have to have balance in your life.
That goes back to when they say to if you decompressurize in a plane, to put your oxygen mask on first.
And then take care of your, yes,
Always
exactly.
remind people, take care of yourself, your family, and then give as much as you can.
Yes.
And if you do that in that order, you'll probably be successful
Yes.
and do those things.
Yes.
So, Steve, and tying it all together, and this is the first section, is there anything else you want to go into detail about what you're doing in your future?
Yeah, well, one of the things, like I say, we're really excited about
all of our Doc in the Box programs. A new one is called Meals in the Box, where we're actually taking leftover. We're having high school and college kids taking leftover food from their cafeterias to a location down in Santa Ana called Veterans First. It's for homeless veterans to feed them. And something we got coming up will be a fundraiser for a lot of organizations here in Orange County. It's called the Newport Beach Party, and it's a celebration of community. And the website for that is www.newportbeachparty.com.
And we'll have that on our website too, timelines of success and all the links. So newportbeachparty.com. That's a pretty good website.
Yeah, and again, we'll be awarding kids for community service throughout the year. Having just a lot of fun stuff in the works. Too much to go into on this program, but I'd love to come back and talk more about that.
Tell us a little bit more. I'm going to not let you go on that. We've got a couple minutes. Tell us a little more about the party. What's the date again?
It's going to be June 26th and 27th at the Newport Dunes Resort in Newport Beach. We'll have music all day. We'll have high school band contest. We'll do beach cleanups. If students collect a certain amount of trash on Earth Day, they'll get a free ticket. If they do donate 100 cans of goods to Veterans First, they'll get a free ticket. A lot of different things to challenge them throughout the year for community service, and then we'll reward them at a big party in the summer.
And it's 2 days, and then a party.
It's 2 days.
And you have sponsors?
Yes, and it'll also tie in with Newport Beach Barbecue Competition, which will be a Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned barbecue event. But we'll also have international wine competition there. We'll have a gourmet village with we have amazing restaurants here in Newport Beach. So we'll have a lot of the restaurants there giving away free food and samples. It'll just be a great family weekend on the beach in Newport Beach.
So I always like to do a commercial. So Newport Beach, you have 1 minute to do a commercial in Newport Beach. Why should someone come and live in Newport Beach?
No, I don't want anybody else to come here.
That's funny.
Yeah, we want to keep don't come to Newport Beach.
That's funny.
No, tourism would hate me if I said that.
We're always looking at the Visitors Business Bureau. Of course, you want people to come here because of your restaurants. You're telling one little fact. You're telling me about restaurants. You have such a high density of restaurants.
Right. We have 5 restaurant shares for every resident of Newport Beach. So we really depend on our tourism to pay our to help support our restaurants. I was kidding about don't come here. I just love this place so much.
It is gorgeous. Everyone in the world has come here in the old after World War II.
Yeah, I always joke. They say, "Will you ever leave California?" I go, "I'll never leave my zip code."
Yeah, the weather is too good.
Yeah, this is perfect. I've traveled all around the world, and this is where I want to be.
Do you have a favorite restaurant?
I have so many, and I can't choose one.
Okay, Nick. By the way, over here you can't see him, but Nick is going to be up next. Nick Hernandez, who is Nikki Hernandez's father, who I've known since I was 3 years old, who's an artist. We're going to ask you some questions. A favorite restaurant at Laguna Beach, so be ready. That's good. So we're going to go to the bottom line up front questions, and I ask everybody this. There's only 4 questions. And do you use a Mac or a PC?
A Mac.
How long have you used a Mac? I see you've got a beautiful Mac.
I've been on Mac for about 5 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, and I've got 2 MacBook Pros, the iPad.
You use the whole platform.
I use the whole platform.
And the iPhone. And once you start doing that, and you said something to me that most people don't. What's the best reason to have that system?
Well, it all talks to each other, and stores are in the cloud, but the one-to-one.
You said one-to-one, which is basically the Apple Store.
Yeah.
There's so much. The Genius Bar is absolutely free. It's 15 minutes with the highest level technician.
Right.
You never get that anywhere else. You pay a small fortune. Yeah. For if you buy a PC and have to go to, I won't say the other names of those big box stores, and use their service, it's going to cost you $100.
Yeah, well, I think I told you I used to be president of the Newport Bay Conservancy, and it's a struggling nonprofit, but we had to make up a lot of posters and things for Earth Day, Cleanup Day, Beach Day, all that stuff, and it really paid for itself in the first hour because I'd go in there with a project, a picture of a bird or something, and they'd help me make it into a wonderful poster. All for free.
Well, one of my missions is to help baby boomers who are 50 and above, born after 1964, get back into technology. Because some of them are into technology, the PCs and all that, but really they want to be a consumer of the technology now, from the streaming video to whatever it might be. And I tell them, just start with the iPhone.
Yeah.
And then take an iPad after that.
And go take classes.
And the classes
and they're
from
so easy and so nice.
Stores are wonderful environments.
And they actually have you do it. So they don't hit the buttons for you. They show you how, which is nice.
Right. And my 12-year-old daughter, who's a genius, I don't want to brag too much, I made her go to Apple iCamp this year, which was free.
Oh.
So it really is a great platform. So driving on, what is your favorite technology that you use?
Probably my MacBook Pro.
And you've used everything. So it's basically the hardware, the system, the Apple system.
It's what I never leave home without it.
It would be difficult to do what we're doing now without these platforms.
I do so many invitations, emails, documents, everything.
This whole platform. And now, your favorite quote.
My favorite quote is by my favorite doctor. It's be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
That's Dr. Seuss.
My favorite doctor.
So I'm going to let you say it one more time.
Okay.
Go ahead and say it again.
Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
Very good. People love to hear those. What's the meaning for you? Stop again. I'm going to pause.
Mm-hmm.
What's the meaning behind that quote?
It's just, there's a lot of people that, are always negative and they're to challenge everything you do. And those people really don't matter. I've had so many people say, Steve, you can't do that, or that'll never work. And if I would listen to them, I wouldn't have gotten anything done.
Oh, very good. So that leads me on to another secondary question. Do you have mentors in your life who have helped you step up?
My parents, my grandparents. My grandfather, he owned his own company. He owned a company called the Natural Fly Company. So he produced, and he had a great story. In the wintertime, they produced flies and fishing rods. In the summer, he enjoyed life, and he was a guide up in Canada.
Oh, nice.
And
what a lifestyle.
Yeah, and then my other grandfather was the industrial side. He was an inventor and an engineer, and he started a company that made trailer parts.
All in the Midwest?
Yes, all in Kansas. It's still a family-run business today.
You could do Kansas City is a wonderful city for success.
Yes.
It's really done well, and it's got the Google high-speed
internet. Yes, right? Yes.
All except for one of the really more interesting towns. I can't think. Not Lawrence.
Lawrence, yeah.
One town didn't take the high-speed internet. I know a friend because he's running for city council in that town because he's so mad. So anyway, driving on. What is your favorite book? My
favorite book is All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten by Robert Fulghum.
By Robert Fulghum. A little more about that book.
It's just a great way to think about life. Some of the things is, share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back where you found them. I mean, think about if governments put things back where they found them. If we replace things as it's just another thing is say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Live a balanced life. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Take a nap every afternoon. Right. A lot of stuff like that. It's just very simple but very, very accurate.
We talked a little pre-show about your success habits, and I always sort of look at how people, what type of sleep they get. Mm-hmm. You say you get up early in the morning.
Yeah, I go to bed at 9, usually at 9.
Wow, that's very early.
And then I wake up about 2 and work from 2 to 4. And that's the time it's my quiet time, and that's when I get most of my good stuff done, and I'll type up my ideas, then I go back to bed, and then I sleep till about 8:30.
Wow, that is I've never quite seen that cycle. That's a unique cycle.
Yeah, but it works for me. How
many hours sleep do you get a day?
Oh, over 9.
9?
Yeah.
Wow, and you're more productive.
Yeah, wow. And I'll take a nap after lunch lots of times. 15 to 20 minutes, and it just gets, and I kind of start my day over again.
Got a little French blood in you. Frenchmen I worked with the French. They love to take those naps in the afternoon.
Well, I've worked in so many places around the world that I can't be attached to one time zone.
Right.
So I just have to make my own.
Yeah, you create. That's very good. So driving on, that sort of finishes up our bottom line upfront questions. So tying it all together, what do you enjoy doing on your off time when you're not doing the ramp? I'm going to stay skin. I'm going to drink some water. I got to see. Behind the scenes, you get to see this.
Philanthropy.
No, I can't even talk. Here, I'm going to do it again.
Okay.
So in tying it all together, what do you enjoy doing on your time off when you're not working so hard in your nonprofits?
And you know, that's it. The thing I enjoy the most is treating children, the underserved. And a lot of times that could, you know, be a trip to Peru or the Amazon or something like that. But if I had my, I love to ski, I love to ice climb, I used to hang glide, jump out of planes. I pretty much was really into all extreme sports, everything but golf.
Any sports now? You do currently?
I'm going to start playing tennis again with Nick this weekend. And
tennis is always good. But you said one of your goals is to go surf.
Yeah, I want to learn how to surf. I want to learn how to paddle surf.
Oh, you got to learn to surf.
Yeah, I want to learn how to paddle surf.
You're around so many good surfers and paddle surfers.
Yeah, but I ride my bike. I ride my bike to the office at least probably 2 days a week, which is about an 8-mile ride. And we live on the Back Bay, so that's a perfect. It's an estuary. Right. So it's it's a Pacific fly zone for a lot of birds. Right. So it's a great way. I leave my phone at home, and I will do that 12-mile loop, and it's very, very calming.
On your bike to ride, yeah, it's very nice. Have you ever ridden? Any chance you ever ridden Lake Tahoe?
No, I haven't.
Great place to. There are many. We're really known for developing.
Well, I used to be president of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and that is there's a century ride at Tahoe. Mm-hmm. They said it's one of the most beautiful.
They just did a major ride last weekend. I don't know which one it was. I was up there, and it was jammed because there's so many bike racks. But it's a great place to ride. So driving on, and this is the most important question, and this is a takeaway for the listeners. So for the listener actually, from this interview with you, what is the most important takeaway for them, for that listener, that you would give advice to? This is your chance to give the listener the advice of a takeaway from this discussion.
Well, I think the most important thing is pretty much you can do anything you set your mind to, and you do it. I've always been able to accomplish my goals by not letting people tell me I can't do stuff. And that goes back to my favorite quote.
That's very good. So it's basically a can-do attitude, mm-hmm. focus, and get it done. Mm-hmm. Is there any time, I'm going to ask a follow-on question mm-hmm. here, but how do you decide when something's not working and you have to back off? I mean, it's not a failure, but you back off and maybe come out in a different direction?
Yeah, I don't think I really ever do that. I mean, I don't take on things I don't think I can. I try to win before I start. And my mother, I know it's a famous quote, someone else said it, but she says, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And that's always worked for me. If I see a problem, I just think about it and work at it harder.
What you just said is one of the success principles we're putting together. And it's people do things that they already know they can succeed in, even though they're challenges.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they can do the steps, they see the path to success.
I think that's part of wisdom.
It's not as much risk
you don't take on what you take on obtainable goals.
Yeah, it's hard to say that. They're a stretch, but they are obtainable.
Right.
You may not be able to reach it, but you probably can reach it.
And if it's just on the border of uncomfortable, that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm. That's a real important element that I didn't understand when I was young, mm-hmm. but you should see in your mind a path to success, mm-hmm. that there shouldn't be those gaps. There's got to be some kind of a plan. Mm-hmm. And you said it. So those things came out in your life. And I know you're successful. You've done real well. All the things you've gone after and achieved. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
On your philanthropy. It's deeply appreciated. So how can we reach you? How can the listener find you? I know you've got several websites.
The simplest thing is steve@stevebender.net.
And NewportBeachParty.com. I can't forget that.
Yeah.
And your nonprofit?
Yes, we're registered 501c3.
What's the name of the nonprofit again?
It's called Bacchus Doc in a Box.
And that's all .com?
.org.
We're going to .org, and we're going to have again those links at Timeline of Success.
Fantastic.
And stevebender.org, right?
No, steve@stevebender.net.
Well, excuse me, steve@stevebender.net. That's your email.
That's my email.
Very good. Well, Steve, we thank you for taking time on this beautiful day and to be down here locked up in the room with the windows shut so we have better sound. So I appreciate it. It's been a wonderful interview. We hope to have you back for a deep dive sometime next year.
Thanks so much for having me.
But thanks, Steve. And now we're going to turn this off, and perfect time for the interview.
That was good.
Oh, thank you.
That was really good.
And we're behind the scenes right now. So we're still on behind the scenes. Nick, you're here. Everyone needs to look at Nick. Because behind the scenes, you see Nick's over here, and Nick brought Steve together. And Nick is going to be up next for Timeline. There's Nick. Hi, Nick. I like it. Chapman University. See your color. Look, this is my mistake I made. His color is much better there. We're going to do the interview that direction. because the color. You looked okay, but he's going to look much better.
Oh, he does.
So in the setup, I washed out. Sometimes I can overdo it with these lights. So people know we have lights up here, and sometimes we can overdo it with lights. But it's a lot of fun. You look good, Nick. You look really good. So we're going to sign off. Say thanks, Steve, again, and we're done with the live broadcast.